Good morning, grade 2. Wish you are all fine. Let's see what we have studied last session and let's see what will we study during this week. Last session we have started with a new chapter about environment, and we said environment, living and non-living things in a place. And we said in the environment we have living things and non-living things. Living things like plants and animals, and non-living things we have rocks, water, soil, air. Okay, and please don't do like Anas, because Anas, I think he said last session chair or whatever, I don't remember. But environment, it's living and non-living things in a place, and we said we have in the living things and examples of the non-living things. We said that environment can be hot or cold, wet or dry. And we said the habitat, it's a place where living things have food, water, and shelter. Uh, what the animal needs should be found in its habitat. So habitats, it's a place where living things find food, water, and shelter. Food, water, and shelter. Habitat, a place where living things find food, water, and shelter. Habitat, a place where living things have food, water, and shelter. We said in the first we have a pond, it's for fish, and trees, it's for birds. How do people change the environment? Do they keep it clean? Do they harm the environment? What did they do? We said that people cut down trees to build houses. And we said in Florida, we have people who brought water hyacinth. It's a kind of plant that they brought it, and this plant to grow very quickly beside water. This plant by the end shut out the air and light, and fish died. Okay, so it was a disaster for the environment. After this, we said that we have the word or the verb adapt. Adapt means change to live. How do you change? How do you adapt yourself to your environment? Like nowadays, it's a little bit cool. So how will you dress? What will you wear in this weather? You will start to wear clothes with long sleeves. Do you start to turn off the AC? Okay, so you start to drink hot drinks. So here the same for animals. Animals need to adapt in their environments because they want to live. So how do they change or adapt to their environment? So adapt, change to live. Adapt, change to live. Adapt, change to live. We said that fish have gills because the gills help the fish to take oxygen from water. And the other thing is that we have is that the otter has fur to keep it warm. Okay, and you can adapt to your environment by wearing heavy clothes in winter and wearing light clothes in summer. This is the first lesson in the environment chapter. Okay, and this was the end of the first lesson. Today we will start with a new lesson. Okay, it's called How Do Living uh, Things Survive in their environments? How do they survive in different environments? We have different environments around us, and we have different animals and different plants that live in the environment. So let's see how do the animals survive in their habitats or their environments. Okay, let's see how do living things survive in different places, in different environments, in different habitats. Okay, what are they doing? How do they survive? How how do they are able to live in this environment? For the living things, we are speaking about the living things like plants and animals. Let's start with the first environment that we have for today, and the first place with us. And this place also, it has plants and animals that live in it, and all the places that I will say we can find plants and animals that live there. Let's see how does this place look like, what is the weather like there, what about the plants, the animals, how do they live there, how do they stay alive there. So the first place that we will speak about today is the desert. Okay, I know that some of you know what is the desert. The desert, as you can see, this is a desert that it's a big area and it's full of sand and it's very hot. Okay, so it is the desert. Repeat after me: desert, desert. Here is telling you that the desert is dry, it's not wet, it's not raining there for a long time. That's why it's dry. The temperature there, the weather is very hot there in the desert. So the desert today, we will start with the first place with us because we want to know how do the animals live in or the plants live in these places. So we'll start with the desert. We said the desert is dry. Okay, it gets little rain, doesn't rain there in the desert, or when it rains there it's very little. Okay, so the desert is dry. Remember it was d. Desert is dry, little rain. Okay, what about the plants that we have in the desert? It's the cactus. Okay, and I know that the cactus is very popular and all of you know about the cactus. Okay, so the desert is dry, it has little rain, we have the cactus there, and as you can see, I want to draw for you the cactus plant. This is the cactus uh, plant that grows only in the desert because it needs a hot weather to grow in it. It cannot be grown here, okay, because it needs a very, very hot weather to be planted or to be grown, okay. So this is the cactus. One more time, we are talking about the first place that we have for today. It's the desert. The desert is dry. It gets little rain. What do we have in the desert? We have the cactus. Okay, and as you can see, this is the stem for the cactus. It's not leaves, it's the stem. And the cactus has spines here to protect itself from the enemies. Okay, so what does the stem or the cactus stem has? Why it's so big like this? To store water inside it. So once it rains, the cactus stem starts to store too much water. Okay, because as I said, in the desert it doesn't rain for a long time. So how will this plant stay alive? Or I don't want this plant to die. So we have these stems. Okay, we have or these stems for the cactus. It helps to store water. So one more time, we are speaking about the desert. We said the desert is dry, it gets little rain. We have, what is the plant that we have it in the desert? Is the cactus. Repeat after me: cactus. What does the cactus do? It stores water. It keeps water inside its stem. Okay. Right. What about the animals that live in the desert? We have the lizard. You know, of course, you know what is the lizard. This is the lizard. How does the lizard live in this hot weather? The lizard, as you can see, they hide under rocks during the day when it's hot, and they come out to find food at night when it's cool. So the lizard cannot stand the hot weather, but they live there in the desert. So during the day, they are hiding themselves under rocks, and during night or at night, they are coming out to look for food. Okay, they are coming out to look for food. Okay, so as I said, today we will speak how do animals and plants live in different places. The first place that we will start with is the desert. What is the desert? The desert, as you can see, this is the desert, okay? The desert is dry. It gets little rain. It doesn't have rain, or it rains little, okay, not too much. We have the cactus that is found, or that it grows there in the desert because it needs hot weather and hot climate. What about the animals? How do the animals live there? We have the lizard. The lizard hides themselves under the rocks during the day because it's very, very hot during the day. So they are hiding themselves under the rocks. But at night, they are coming out to look for food because it's cool at night. So they start to look for food at night. Okay, طيب. So this is what I want you to know about this week. That we said we have the desert. The desert is dry. The desert is dry. It gets little rain. It gets little rain. What is found in the desert? We have the cactus. The cactus stores water. The cactus stores water. The cactus stores water. What about the lizards? The lizards hide, or they live in the desert, but they hide themselves under rocks during the day when it's hot, and they come out to find food at night when it's cool. Okay, grade 2. So this was the first place that I want you to know about. If you can think about more plants or more animals that live in the desert, I want you to get a piece of canson, okay, A4, and to stick different pictures for the animals that live there, for the animals that live there, okay, the animals that live in the desert. So the first place that we studied today was the desert. Repeat after me: desert. Desert. The desert is dry. It gets little rain. We have the cactus to store water, and we have lizards. It's one of the kinds of the animals that live in the desert. And the lizards, they are hiding themselves under rocks during the day when it's very hot because they cannot stand the heat of the desert. And at night, they are going out, or they are coming out to look for food when it is cool. Okay, grade 2. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye.